Good day. I'm going to talk today about breaking free and breaking the effects of the narcissist. Now, this is a label that's been put on other human beings, just like yourself. We're all human beings, right? The the digression when mankind fell and when the wicked one fell, there was one obvious factor about the two different species. They began to decay. They were given an expiry date. They kept decaying. Okay. On that level, is that something goes backwards, it's going to spin backwards and keep going backwards. Something's going forward, it's going to spin. You go to your wheel, your car, whatever, you're going to see the same thing. Motion equals perpetuation, right? We can't get away from that. That is laws. That's laws we establish not only in the physical world, it operates in the spiritual world. Things that we don't ever see are in a state of the law of perpetuation, right? You see with the planets, the scientists like to come up with the reason behind it stuff. They can only see so far. And science means mind, by the way. They can only see so far. They can't even explain a lot of the stuff going on. I still have to do this still puzzle. Still, you know, the one guy who basically want to explain God ended up in a wheelchair looking, and excuse me, I mean, he's a life just like every one of us. But when this guy is busy wants to give you his higher mind about God, you know, I kind of want him, God sort of allowed him to take the perpetuative state and he kept going backwards to the state that he was and showing, professing to be wise, they become fools, that he would list a guy like that, as he basically blasphemes and rails against the Most High and his dignity and everything else. And he's creating the image of God. And now he's become a broken and a gone fallen image, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, getting into the avenue of the breaking effects and getting away from the effects of the narcissist. The most important interaction you'll ever have with the narcissist is not the part that you're having with them, is understanding that they actually have an effect coming from them, right? That is probably one of the first mode of your survival. Escaping and breaking free from it and not allowing it to basically continue based upon the law of perpetuation. Because whether you like it or not, you are going to fall in the pit with them. It is just a law of perpetuation. Even in those laws working when it comes to having a decaying effect on something else. The reason why they have the ability to have such a despicable effect is because they're aggressive. Good is not aggressive, right? Good basically has a flow. It just has a flow. It doesn't create storms. It just basically is. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful in its perpetuation. It cannot but be going forward, right? Some people have said that they're basically like they're so backwards too. Even the stuff that they do, they're so backwards, right? You're breaking away from the effects and even setting your being freed from their effects is understanding that they are having an effect. Whether you want to accept it or not, you pay more attention, you more attentiveness, you awareness, you become to what is going on in your environment by them being there. Okay, if your dog is well behaved, you'll watch how your dog begins to act. If they're very well at hiding through deception, okay, at some point after they leave, you go to sleep, you'll know certain things begin to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong in that, okay? One way or the other, the way effects work is that Effects may take an hour, may take a few hours, may take a day, may take weeks, or may take months. Dependent upon the level of aggression, so is the level and the time frame of the effect of the aggression. Okay? The way you break free from a lot of it is, first of all, being totally aware that they are going to affect your life, your environment, one way or the other. Okay? Number two, feeling sorry for and having an emotional tie to their condition is not going to help you any. Got to make this clear. If someone was dying, like in a natural world, people are much more prepared and much more educated how to handle if someone was dying or have a severe illness that is uh, like a virus, right? Where it's gonna catch, right? You have something called quarantine. So you understand a quarantine. So they understand it, you understand it, right? So in the natural world, we're kind of taught that quarantine is a very healthy thing. So, hey, nothing wrong with that. So you keep yourself away from, right? In the general sense of the narcissist and the narcissism, we don't have those kinds of laws in place. We don't have that kind of understanding about quarantine, right? So therefore, they're let loose anywhere, anywhere, anyhow, blah blah blah. One of the second aspects of being able to dealing with and getting away from the effects of them is knowing that what they're there to do is being done the majority of times intentionally. They've had enough time to reflect upon their effects, because don't think they haven't seen it being done to other people. They're fully aware. They make enough excuses for it. They've come to the point of living to tell people, even if you basically said, you really got me trouble by basically suggesting or doing that, or even just like coming with me last night. We didn't have to get into that fight with that person, right? A lot of times they'll probably turn around and say, you're making too much out of it, or it just, shit happens. They'll say, right? Come on, I'm sure you've had other people, right? Come on, right? They're always, throwing it off because they're never at fault, right? You have the ability within you to be able to deter and walk away from the effects of them based upon the fact that they are having an effect. They have an effect, and that effect means and is up to no good. Its full intention is to do anything in its environment wrong, not right. It is a very hard thing when it's family members, a very hard thing with people whom you've really cared about, because good natured people form deep connections. And see, that is what makes anyone who wants to be in a normal sense of the word have a hard time breaking away from the effects, is because of the connection. See, the connection was the effect to begin with, right? That's how they form it. So a lot of times how you're going to break away from the effect of it, you got to work on your connection with them. You got to be able to tell yourself in so many different ways, write it down, whatever, that this is why you're choosing to reject, move away from, disregard. Basically, you don't want to have nothing to do with this person, or you go less than, right? Less than. If you need to get in their face about what they're doing and who they are, a lot of times telling people who they are is not going to make people. That's so. It can be open to so many different interpretations, because they're going to turn around and say, "Well, what about you?" Right? They're going to find ways to say, "What about you?" So it ends up going nowhere. You got two people. He said, she said, la da da. Right? It's never no right and wrong when it goes in that area. It's just not worth it, right? Another thing that helps you break away from their effects is you have to firmly agree within yourself that you are doing the right thing because you're much more healthier than they are. And you are becoming better. You're not better than, but you're becoming better, and you can't afford to lose your growth. You can't afford to lose it. Like a sickness, like an illness, like a virus, you can't allow it. And that helps you to cope. It helps you to cope with rejecting and walking away from them. The thing is, I've seen this as being a real coping mechanism in life. The effect thereof. Throughout my life, I've seen that people who've come in situations had right there in that moment or a couple of weeks from it, it has a powerful effect, right? It's emotional and da da da, but eventually wears off. And it helps you to cope with that, because if you remember that in your life, things that you thought would have just done you in totally, the effect eventually wore off. So it wasn't as powerful as you thought it was when you're in the moment with it. And that's another thing about it being given the empowerment to be able to walk away and dealing with the effects and not allowing it to continue in your life, is that you have the ability to simply break away, break the contact, break the connection, because the effect is not important to you anymore. The timing of it, how long it's going to take for you to wear off of you. You can always comfort yourself that that effect will eventually wear off, but you don't want to waste any more time with it. You don't want to waste any more time. They narcissists in so many ways, there's really are someone else's problem. Okay. Whether it be it's a parent, whether it be it's an enabler, and trust me, enablers are some of the worst kind of idiots, and excuse my language, some of the worst kind of idiots to narcissists, because especially the weak ones, they're the ones, and I was one of them. I'd still am some ways, but when you are interacting with them, and then if you don't, you see right through what they're doing, and you still go along with the manipulation. You say, "Oh yeah, well, just this time," and you allow them to keep using you and taking advantage of you. You're enabling them. But when you stop in the face, say, "Look, this is what's going on between us," and you don't even get to the place, "Well, I think," or whatever. No, you just tell them, "Look, you're having this effect on me. Okay, I don't like it, and it's going to stop because I don't treat you that way." When you give them that, you give them a chance to reflect, which is not hard for anyone to have. Are they going to take it? No, no. Because once again, you're not a person to them. As people would say, you're just a supply. You're just somebody that's in their life. And they don't care about you. Don't fool yourself. That's another thing that'll help you to get over their effects. They don't care about you. And I'm going to end with that. That's probably uh, uh, the biggest quantifying factor in your life that'll help you to be able to emotionally, spiritually, mentally make a serious choice in your life. This person does not care about me. They're incapable of, or they only care about one thing. They're actually intentionally trying to hurt me. One way or the other, it'll give you the coping power to simply say enough, and they're gone. One of the most beautiful things about dealing with and experiencing the breaking away from the freedom and having a freedom from the effects of the narcissist. Just like there's a storm in the sky, the clouds go away, the sun returns, the grass begins to get greener again. The trees start to have fruit, and it's talking about your inner life. It's the things that didn't really was stuck in a blocking state seem to start happening again. Because one thing they have the power to do too. They have the power to get in here, and they have the power to mess with your faith. And when they're doing that, all the time what they're doing, they're distracting you. They throw you off. They intentionally throw you off too. Like a trajectory, they'll throw you off your path, the right path, whatever that path is, they'll throw you off it. And Jesus Christ apparently is the path, I should say apparently, is the path, right? You always want to stay in the truth. You want to stay in the light. They have the same ability to get on your path. They don't have the right to try to get you on their path. And you don't care about their path. They don't care about you. You're allowed. It's actually a good thing to not care anymore when that which is trying to hurt you is not a person anymore, but a thing, is a species, is something that's ruled by demonic spirits. At that point, you're dealing with something otherworldly, and really, you got to take the human element out of it, and it'll help you to cope, help you to get away, help you to make the simple choice to say, that's it, I'm done. No way, no way, no way. Get away. One other thing to help you to cope and be able to break free. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere different. Get your brain, your being clear and clean. A different environment always creates a different type of perspective. You come back with more equipment. You're equipped more to say no. Bye. Bye. And you mean it. Have a good day, and we'll talk again. And do like and subscribe.